What is up, legendary boys and girls? Welcome back to another video of Axe Entertainment. I'm your host, Zack Axe, back at you with a kind of weird weekly award. So if you follow my channel, you know that I have not recorded a video, not uploaded a video in over a month. It's been hectic with the Christmas stuff, with the moving stuff, with all the stuff that was just happening in my life that was not working. Getting back to the videos was kind of one thing I just was not able to do, but I'm looking to get back into it. And we're here with some weekly awards. So like you guys know, I have not done weekly awards in a while, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this part that we're going to change weekly awards a little bit, and that is going to be, for now on, we will no longer be featuring NXT. Now, I still want to keep up with NXT, and I still want to watch NXT, and I'm going to. It's just with the schedule of weekly awards, in my schedule with working, I'm never able to actually watch NXT when it comes out, and I'm never able to actually go back and watch it before the end of the week, and then it leaves me rushing to watch NXT and rushing to try to get these videos out, and it just has not worked for me. So I'm going to continue to keep up with NXT and maybe give you some thoughts on NXT as we go, maybe some discussion. But when it comes to the actual weekly awards, I'm not going to be incorporating NXT anymore into the actual awards. If a person from NXT has already won an award, when we get to the end of year awards, we're going to do it. And by end of year, I don't mean end of the schedule year, I mean end of the weekly awards year. So I started weekly awards in, right after WrestleMania. It was the first week after WrestleMania 41. So after WrestleMania 42, that will be the last week of weekly awards before the year. We'll see who had the most awards for everyone. We'll have some real big fun event there. And then we'll decide if we're going to continue this series or not, because the series has, I feel like, stopped me from doing a lot more that I would like to do. But that's enough with the rambling. This is what we're going to do. So I have 5 weeks of weekly awards that I have missed. So we're going to basically rapid fire 4 weeks and then talk a little bit more about the 5th week, which is the most recent week. So let's go ahead and rapid fire 4 weeks in a row of weekly awards. Alright, we're just going to go down the bend. Here we go. So we're going to start with 12-8 to 12-12. Male MVP is going to go to Javon Evans with honorable mentions for Ilya and Logan Paul. Female MVP, honorable mentions to Roxanne Perez and Io Sky, but Lash Legend is winning. For the team of the week, honorable mention to the Terror Twins, but the award is going to go to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Promo of the week, honorable mentions to Gunther and then Cody and Oba, but the winner is going to be Braun Breaker, surprisingly. And the match of the week for that week, we're going to give honorable mention to Logan Paul versus LA Knight, but the award is going to go to Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa, which was a very, very good match. Alright, 12-15 to 12-19. Male MVP honorable mention goes to Austin Theory, but we're going to give the award to Logan Paul. Female MVP, Maxine, is going to get honorable mention, but we're going to give it to Julia. Team of the week honorable mention is going to go to Jackson Lash, but the winner is going to be the Usos. We're going to give promo of the week honorable mention to Gunther, but CM Punk is going to win the award. And then match of the week, we're going to give honorable mention to the Wyatt Six versus the MFTs, but the award is going to go to the Usos versus the New Day. Next up, we got 11-22 to 11-26. Now, honorable mentions are going to go to, for male MVP, are going to go to Javon Evans and Joe Hendry, but I am going to give it to Carmelo Hayes, who picked up the United States Championship, which is a good, very, very good surprise. I love Carmelo Hayes. And then female MVP honorable mention is going to go to Julia and Kiana James, but the winner is going to be Asuka. Team of the week honorable mention is going to go to Julia and Kiana James, but the winner is going to be Austin Theory and Bronson Reed. Promo of the week honorable mention is going to go to Becky, Dupree, and Hendry, but I'm going to give it to Drew McIntyre. And then honorable mentions for match of the week is going to go to Rhea versus Asuka, but the winner is going to be Melo versus Ilya. Then for 12-29 to 1-2, we're going to give honorable mentions for male MVP to Rey Mysterio, Matt Cardona, who made his return, and Melo, but I'm going to give the award to Damian Priest. Female MVP, honorable mention is going to go to Stephanie Vauquer, but the winner is going to be Julia, who regained the Women's United States Championship. And then team of the week, honorable mention is going to go to Rhea, Io, Bliss, and Flair, who were all teamed together, but the winner is going to be the new tag team champions, the Usos. For promo of the week, honorable mention is going to go to Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, and Sami Zayn, but The Miz is going to win this award. And then for match of the week, honorable mention to Nikki versus Raquel versus Stephanie and Melo versus Johnny, but the Usos versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee is going to win that award. So the sole purpose of me doing that is because when I get to the end of year awards, I do want to, like I said, collectively see who had the most awards out of anybody. Of course, it's going to be a little bit unfair for the NXT people, who no longer will be included in the awards from now until then. But like I said, it's just going to be a lot easier for me to get these videos out if we just do Raw and SmackDown, because I have to, I watch Raw and SmackDown live. NXT I can never actually get to watch on time, so I don't like kicking NXT out, and I do want to continue to keep up with it. But they also did just lose a bunch of stars, which we will talk about in a second. But let's go ahead and get into this week of wrestling, 1-5 to 1-9, and let's talk a little bit about what happened. So let's start with male MVP. Honorable mentions for male MVP is going to go to CM Punk, who had an amazing match with Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes. But the award is going to go to Drew McIntyre, and that is because Drew McIntyre is your new WWE champion. And that's absolutely an insane phrase. I did not see Cody Rhodes losing this title. I thought he was going to hold this title all the way up until WrestleMania. I thought there was no way in hell he was losing it, especially on a random episode of Smackdown, not even a PLE. But they pulled the trigger. Drew McIntyre is your new WWE champion, and I've been clamoring for Drew McIntyre to get another shot at a championship run. Of course, he had the World Heavyweight title run that ended in, to Damian Priest's cash-in. But he's never actually been able to hold it and do stuff with it, and now we're going to get a look at Drew McIntyre being WWE champion for the first time with a full crowd in front of him, and I'm very excited for that. So as much as I love Cody Rhodes, and I don't think he was having a bad title reign like some people like to say, I think it was a little bit more boring, and I think it's okay that we kind of switched it up and put it on Drew here, and I'm excited to see going into WrestleMania, going into the Rumble, what we're going to do with Drew McIntyre as champion. Female MVP honorable mentions are going to go to Liv Morgan, Jordan Grace, who made her debut on Friday Night SmackDown, and Julia, but the award is going to go to another new champion in Becky Lynch, who regained the Women's Intercontinental Championship away from Maxine Dupree. Now, I always figured that this was going to be a, stop. I said it, I believe I might have said it in the last weekly awards, for 5 weeks ago or whatever, that this was always going to be a stop for the Women's IC title. It was kind of just, let's see what Maxine can do for a couple months while Becky does some other stuff. But then once she gets the title back, we're going to probably have a WrestleMania feud, would be my guess, heading into WrestleMania against AJ Lee, where AJ Lee can win the title at WrestleMania. So I always kind of saw this happening. This wasn't a surprise to me. I thought Becky was going to win this title back. I thought Maxine was just a little stop, and that's what it ended up being. I think it's still very cool that Maxine has kind of elevated herself now, and she can honestly fight for any title that she wants to now, and it will be believable because, hey, she beat Becky Lynch. And I do like the storyline and the matches they were having, even if they weren't the best matches, it was a very fun storyline. So Becky Lynch is your new, and once again, Women's Intercontinental Champion. Keeping it rolling with the new champions, the Tag Team of the Week honorable mention is going to go to the MFTs, but the award is going to go to the new Women's Tag Team Champions, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, just new champions flying all around this week. And honestly, with the Women's Tag Team Championships, I don't know what to think, because I was complaining that they weren't getting used enough and that they should just get rid of them. Well, then they took every single person that they had on the roster and put them into the women's tag team title division. So there was nobody left for the singles championships. So I'm like, now they're overdoing it. So maybe giving it to Rhea and Io and having them feud, maybe going forward with probably Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, or maybe even the Judgment Day going forward, and kind of kicking out some of the other ones. Like Lyra and Bayley does not need to be a tag team. Lyra needs to be a singles competitor after that huge IC title picture, but that's a topic for another video. Just for now, we have new tag team champions in Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and I'm actually pretty interested to see what they're going to do with these heading into WrestleMania. Next up, we're going to give out promo of the week. Now, honorable mentions for promo of the week is going to go to the Gunther and AJ Styles promo we saw on Monday Night Raw, but the award is going to go to Trick Williams and Randy Orton's promo battle on Friday Night SmackDown. And Trick Williams was one of the best talkers on NXT. Like him and Oba and Ricky were like the three best talkers on NXT. You couldn't get really better than them. And now we have Trick Williams on the main roster stepping up to Randy Orton on his first night on SmackDown. That's absolutely crazy. That shows that they have so much faith in Trick Williams. And I'm very excited to see where we go with Trick Williams, because he's one of my favorites on NXT. And I can't wait to see what he does, especially coming right up against Randy Orton, telling him he's not 09 Orton anymore. This is insane, and I really hope this is going to lead into Trick versus Randy. I believe we have some title matches, some title number contender matches happening, but I don't remember if Trick and Randy are actually fighting in the first round or not. I'll have to look again, but this award is going to Trick and Randy. Last award before we get into just a couple things I want to talk about is going to be Match of the Week. Now, honorable mention for Match of the Week is not going to be one, because I don't have an honorable mention. I just have a first place tie, because I could not choose one or the other. I was trying to think, should I give it to Breaker versus Punk? That was a really, really good World Heavyweight title match on Raw. Or should I give it to the 3 Stages of Hell between Drew and Cody? I couldn't pick. I think maybe Drew versus Cody was a little bit better because of the added stipulation of 3 Stages of Hell, but Punk and Cody was just as good in its own right. Punk and Breaker. So I couldn't leave either of these guys off without getting an award. 2 huge title matches on the same week. I'm just going to give them both the award. Maybe I'm breaking my rule a little bit, but I know I've had some ties in the past. This is going to be another tie where we give both of the World Championship matches this week the match of the week because they were both so damn good. If you haven't seen either of these matches, go watch both of them. They are both so good and both definitely worthy of a watch. I actually have a few things I want to talk about before we get into near the end of the video. I have not talked about Austin Theory at all because since I have been away, he has been unveiled to be the Masked Man, and I called it. I told you guys for weeks and weeks and weeks that Austin Theory was going to join the Division. The Masked Man showed up. I said it's probably Austin Theory, and I was getting clowned on a little bit. People were saying it was Jon Moxley. I think they should be the ones getting clowned on, but it was Austin Theory. I was correct. On Monday Night Raw, Rey Mysterio did the little shimmy, and this is just a really funny one to me. My girlfriend, who does not like Dominic Mysterio, said, "That's funny, he did Dominic's shimmy." And I stared at her for maybe 5 minutes before saying, that is Eddie Guerrero's shimmy. That is just what Dom uses. So I just thought that was pretty funny, and I wanted to mention it because I know it's gonna make her mad probably. Last thing is the NXT call-ups, and this is another reason real quick of why I am not too fussed about incorporating NXT into the weekly awards anymore, and that is strictly for the fact that all of my favorites are leaving. My favorite, Javon Evans, he just got called up. My second favorite, Obafemi, he just got called up. My third favorite, Joe Hendry, he's been flirting with the main roster. My next favorite, Trick Williams, he just got called up. One of my favorites in the women's division, Jordan Grace, she gets called up. And I'm not mad at these call-ups. I wish they would have been a little bit, more spread out, and we could have maybe enjoyed them instead of now we have like different people in different rosters trying to fit in at the same time. I think they should have been kind of gradually incorporated, but I'm not mad at it. We're getting a ton of new call-ups for phenomenal wrestlers coming to the main roster. I think it's a little weird. People like, I think JCJ and Ricky Saints and Ethan Page come to mind when I think of people that probably should have been called up, maybe before a Javon Evans or before an Obafemi even. As much as I love Obafemi and Javon Evans, and I don't think there was much more for them to do down there, I think Javon definitely could have been an NXT champion down there. He never was the NXT champion, so I think he definitely could have been, a prime contender down there for that title after Oba left. And I think it's a little weird that we have Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, 2 tenured veterans down there, but we're bringing up a 21-year-old Javon Evans. Now, Javon Evans is my favorite. I'm not mad at that. Don't get me wrong. I know Javon is selling like crazy, but I just think it'd be a little bit better if we would have called them up first, since, of course, they're not going to have as long in the future to be wrestling as somebody like Javon Evans, who's still 21. But I'm not mad at it. Like I said, I'm excited to see what everybody's going to do in the main roster, and I can't wait. That's all the weekly awards we have. Like I said, we had 5 weeks. I'm just trying to catch up. I'm going to try not to fall behind again, and I don't think I will, honestly, because like I said, I'm done with Raw as soon as Raw ends. I'm done with SmackDown as soon as SmackDown ends, and I can make that into a video. It's just always NXT that throws me off because I cannot watch it on Tuesday, and then I have to wait for it to get uploaded, or I have to watch it on Netflix on a VPN, and that takes forever for me to actually be able to sit down and watch an extra 2 hours of wrestling. So I'm still going to watch NXT when I can. I'm still going to watch the highlights. I'm still going to watch the PLEs. I'm just not going to incorporate them in the weekly awards, and I think that's going to make it more fluent. I think I'm going to be able to get these videos out a lot faster, and I think it'll be a better product at the end for me, to be able to, a better opportunity for me at the end of the day to be able to get these videos out for you guys sooner and not have to constantly be trying to catch up on 3 weeks of NXT because I'm 3 weeks behind on weekly awards because I haven't been able to watch NXT. It's all because of my schedule. If I didn't have this schedule at work, I would have no problem with keeping NXT in, but I'm sorry to all the NXT fans. Maybe you're only here for NXT. I apologize that going forward we no longer have NXT. That's my bad. Like I said, I wish I didn't have to, but I think this will just make it easier for everyone. So, like I said, end of the year awards after WrestleMania 42, we're going to see who had the most awards throughout the year of weekly awards, and that's why I want to get caught up on all these, and I didn't want to just skip out on it and be like, oh, forget those weeks. I still went back and I still wrote down everybody that deserved the award. They still got the awards, and now going forward we're going to be able to see who has the most of all 5 awards when we get into the end of the year. So if you guys have stuck with me for this long, if you guys have missed me, maybe you guys were starting to actually really like me and then I just disappeared, I apologize. I'm sorry. I've been trying, like I said, but that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and get you guys out of here. If you what's my outro? Oh my god. If you did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like on the video. Subscribe for me while you're down there. Leave in the comments if I gave any award to the wrong person. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok at Axe Entertainment. I plan to get back to doing TikToks here very, very soon. Those have been kind of getting the same treatment as the YouTube videos, and I haven't made a TikTok in a long time. So hopefully we'll get back to doing TikToks and ranking all the wrestlers over there. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I am him, you are not. I am grim, you are lost. Heating up, ovens hot, beating up all the frauds. You're a king, I'm a god. Y'all got bling, I do not, cause I'm clean. Y'all get clawed on the top, y'all are frauds. At the top of my game, but still I get no fame. That's cause I would never pay for a fan to come my way.
12-15 to 12-19. We're going to give honorable mentions to Austin Theory. 12-15 to 12-19. We're going to give honorable mentions to Austin Theory and give the award to Logan Paul for male MVP. Honorable mentions for male MVP. Oh my God. I was going to do it again. 12-15 to 12-19. Logan Paul is going to win the award with Austin Theory getting the honorable mention. Female MVP, Julia is going to win the award with Maxine getting the honorable mention. Team of the Week, the Usos are going to win the award with honorable mentions going to Jax and Lash Legend. Then Promo of the Week, CM Punk is going to get an honorable mention, while, nope, CM Punk's going to win the award. I'm never going to get through this video.